Browns beat reporter Daryl Ryder his thoughts on the Joe Flacco trade and what it means to the Browns front office.
Here's the thing. I don't think Andrew Berry consulted Kevin Stefanski on the Joe Flacco trade. That's my opinion.
Okay.
Kevin's never going to say that. I don't think Andrew will ever cop to that either.
Do you think Kevin liked the trade?
No. He was furious because go back to the week a couple days after, it was the Friday leading up. I forget what game it was, but Kevin said, in no world did I think Joe Flacco was getting traded this year. That was Kevin's way of saying, I'm pretty angry about this. This is not what I wanted. This is not what I thought was best for the team. Kevin really believed, even though Joe wasn't playing great, but I think part of the reason Joe wasn't playing great, no receivers, and the offense stinks. Because he goes to Cincinnati without knowing half the Bengals playbook, and he looks like he did with the Browns in 2023. It also comes down to the wide receiver room that Andrew Berry gave him to work with. As I've said, Jerry Jeudy's a number 2 receiver at best. He's not a number 1, and that's not me dumping on Jerry, although it'd be nice if Jerry would catch the ball when it is thrown to him on a consistent basis. But 2 targets in a game does not cut it. Not for a guy you gave a contract. You got to throw the ball to him. You got to throw it more to Harold Fannin. Got to throw it more to David Njoku. Like, you got to throw it to guys that'll catch the darn thing.
Yeah, but
Why are you throwing it to Isaiah Bond? I know, I'm a broken record. I said this yesterday. It's frustrating to me.
I mean, he is a wide receiver, though,
Isaiah Bond got hit in the side of the head with a football at the goal line. I am not interested in that guy at all.
Spencer, that was one of the funniest things I've seen is what he's referring to with Isaiah Bond.
You guys are on a heater with these clips today.
I still chuckle at that when I see it. It's turn your head around.
Yeah, that was definitely an interesting one a couple weeks back in Pittsburgh when that play happened. No, listen, I understand where Daryl's coming from. I think his passion on this subject is obviously huge, and you can see how he feels about the state of things. And I think that's how a lot of Browns fans feel, frankly. The Joe Flacco conversation and that trade specifically is fascinating to me because Daryl says that today, or I think it was from today. When I was sitting in that press conference room on Wednesday after the trade had been made, and we're talking to Kevin for the first time, and he reveals that, he was surprised by the trade. And I know later in the week he clarified that he meant that he was surprised that there was a market for Flacco, or that he would be the guy that would get traded and all that. But usually after those types of like a move like that, a trade like that, usually Kevin just gives you the company line of, we consult each other on all these things, and that we thought this is what was best for the team. Usually that he'll just stick to the script, right? That's normally his way of operating when it comes to those types of things and those types of topics and those types of questions. But for him to reveal that even he was essentially surprised by it, and we now know there was some added context to, it sounds like Flacco was given the option from Andrew Berry, like, hey, do you want to stay here and be part of this group, or do you want to go to Cincinnati? And he chose Cincinnati because it was a chance to start again. I question the same thing Daryl questioned. Like, I don't know that Kevin was just like consulted on this and they talked through it the same way they talked through other things. I think it was probably sort of done behind the scenes, and then he approached him and said, hey, I think we're going to make this deal because we're going to get some picks out of it. And then Kevin just kind of had to live with it. And then he tried to sort of explain, we talk about all these things later. But for him to start the press conference the way that he did, I thought was very telling that day.